Okay, hopefully you've done at least 5 to 10 minutes of a good solid warm-up with some fundamentals. If you're a brass player, you should buzz. Woodwinds can play on the mouthpiece. String players, making sure we're going over pizzicato, good hand technique, and maybe some bow exercises as well. Today we're going to be looking at Fast Track Band, songs number 5, and this is on page 10. If you're not doing the Fast Track Band portion of the assignment, that's okay. Please try to pay attention during this lesson to the different practice strategies that we use. So the assignment for Fast Track Band are the first 2 lines on this page 10. So I'm going to play it all the way through first, and then we're going to break it down. And I'm going to set my metronome to 96 beats per minute. If you decide to go slower or faster for your recording, that's perfectly okay. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we're just going to go down a bunch of different practice strategies. We're going to try to talk about the different things that they can help. First of all, you need to know how your music goes. Hopefully there's a recording out there. Usually for some of these beginner books and beginner songs, there aren't recordings. So we have to find another way to figure out how this song goes if you don't know how to play it yourself. One of the first things we can figure out is the rhythm. So one of our first practice strategies is clapping the rhythm from top to bottom with our metronome to make sure we're understanding. It would look sort of like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half note. Excellent. Now, another thing we can figure out is finding another way to sustain sound. Because of all of our instruments, they don't just have that downbeat clap, but they have to have sound that follows through afterwards. So the next thing we could try is singing it on a blank syllable. We're going to use da for today. So again, from the beginning of these first 2 lines, I'm singing the rhythm again, ignoring the different pitches. And we're just focusing once again on rhythm, but sustaining rhythm. Should sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, 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 da. So again, we're not necessarily going for quality of sound there, but you're trying to make sure that you're lining up your rhythms vertically, or so that each beat is lining up with the metronome or time reference that you're playing with. Next, we are going to read our note names out loud. Now this one's a little tricky, so you might want to slow down your metronome if you're not used to it. We're going to go from 96 all the way down to 80 now, just to make sure that we can read this properly. And I'm just going to take the first 4 bars here. 1 and 2 and 3 and D, E flat, F, D, C, D, E flat, C, B flat, C, D, B flat, C, C. Now, some of you might find that those note names don't match your songs is because I'm reading for low brass instruments or B flat instruments. So just follow the note names that are appropriate for your song and appropriate for your instrument as well. We can also sing the pitches too if we want to make sure that we're being accurate. There are a few different ways we can do that. You can either play with a piano or some other pitch reference, or you can use your instrument to find those pitches. I'm going to break the first measure down showing you how to do that. So we know our note names, and first measure for my song is D, E flat, F, D. And I want to find the pitches that match that. So I'm going to take my instrument and play them separately. And see if I can match them with my voice. D, E flat, F, D. And you can go slower because you're starting to ear train and memorize some of those pitches. That way, if you do end up playing a wrong note or rhythm, you'll be able to hear it in your own practice. While you are reading and singing and doing these other things along, you can also move your fingers on your instrument or practice air bowing or pizzicato or do a bunch of different things while you're reading. So if I were to try that for this song, D, E flat, F, D, C, D, E flat, C, etc., etc. Another thing that we're starting to do is breaking down the measures. Now you notice with some of these practice strategies, I'm not necessarily going through the entire song all the time, but showing you little snippets. Let's pretend that I was having some trouble with the first two measures of the second line. I'm going to isolate those two measures and figure out what that issue is. If I'm having problems playing notes, I'm going to go through it one note at a time. And eventually speed it up. And then you can go back into context and add the measures prior or after. So, to review, we have a bunch of different practice strategies that we showed today, and there are even more that you can try depending on what your piece needs or depending on your instrument. We clapped our rhythms. We sang on the syllable da, just to make sure we're getting the rhythm right. We're reading our note names out loud. We're singing note names with pitches. We're also fingering along on our instrument while we're doing these different things. We're also breaking down measures and grouping them note by note or phrase by phrase, depending on what you need. Other strategies you can use, string players switch from pizzicato to arco or back and forth, depending on what the piece needs. Making sure we can also air bow, making sure we're going in the right bow directions for our string players as well. For those of you with longer, more complicated pieces in the upper section, make sure that you're taking your time and practicing much slower with the metronome so you can get each one of these notes and rhythms correct before you start to play it at tempo. So, reminders for everybody. Take your time. This is not a race. We're not trying to see who could submit these first, but we're going for quality in our playing. Make sure you're using a metronome when you're practicing as well. We need to make sure we're accurate with our time. And please, please, please listen back to your recordings before you send them. There's no reason why you can't record over and over until you get a really good take that you're proud of to send off. And most importantly, have fun while you play. I know you probably are getting a lot of work at home and things are different, weird, maybe stressful. And I truly do not want this assignment to be more added stress to you. If you haven't played your instrument much lately, please take it out, give it some love and attention, and play it a bit, and get yourself ready for this assignment. If you have any questions, please send me an email, samuel.ambrose@pgcps.org. My email is listed on the school website as well, and you can find me in some of your Google Classrooms. These assignments will all be posted on my website, so please make sure that you save the link to my website. Also, please have your parents or guardians sign up for my Remind for easy access to communicate with me. And last but not least, if you're struggling on this assignment, my office hours are every day during the week, Monday through Friday, from 9 to 1. You can send me an email with questions. You can send me recordings early just to get a little feedback on it. Or if you would like to set up some sort of quick live session or anything like that, please contact me and we can work on that. Happy practicing all.